So today, Charlemagne, let's see what you got to say against Eminem today. Let's get into this. Hot go my doubly fans. Your boy B.O.B. back in the building. So, Charlemagne on another rampage rant again, up against Eminem. So the title says Charlemagne says 6ix9ine and Britney Spears would wash Eminem in the versus battle. Now, we all know Charlemagne is who he is. If you don't know, I'm going to give y'all my little one-two on what I think is going on with Charlemagne, and this might surprise y'all, but see what Charlemagne ranting and raving about. Let's see what he got to say about Eminem. But just from the title alone, you know, you would never see Eminem in a battle with 6ix9ine. It doesn't make sense because the versus is not for the 6ix9ine generation. Britney Spears, two different genres of music. Female against male. And the fact that you had Eminem literally had songs dedicated to just dissing and getting off on Britney Spears, it's nah, it's not. So let's see what Charlemagne talking about. I'm doing too much talking. Let's go.
Gets washed. M gets washed in any verses, bro.
Damn.
Y'all gonna stop it. Y'all gonna stop this. And
Pause. I give him a strike right there. Eminem does not get washed in any verse because in my mind there are only four other artists that can, I would say, would make sense to even put on a stage next to Eminem if you could put him in a versus.
And I mean,
I like Renegade.
In any verses?
Any.
Not any verses, bro.
Any.
I mean,
any.
Charlemagne's
Again,
crazy.
Any. M don't have the songs like that. M.
Don't even go down that road, bro, because the man have over, what I think is like 400 plus songs. Eminem has songs, bro. And you want to talk about top 20 hits? The man's greatest album has been on the Billboard for more than 12, I think 15 consecutive years. What you talking about? The man don't have songs. His greatest hits album, that's just a greatest hits compilation of all these other albums that he's have. He just took a bunch of hits and just put them on one album. That's been on the Billboard for 12 plus consecutive years, bro. Hold on.
M can rap, and we like
yeah,
M
but not
as a
against
rapper.
any verses. There are rappers that are worse than Eminem. Like against 6ix9ine.
Yeah, but they got better songs.
You think
Future
6ix9ine
washes Eminem in a
you
versus.
think 6ix9ine beats Eminem in a versus?
Depending on the generation.
You a crazy motherfucker.
The fact that he just agreeing with that. Now, mind you, there is a valid point there. I'm not saying that Tekashi or Future is going to wash Eminem, but there is a valid point there to the point where he said depending on the age category. Just like I said, versus is not for the younger generation. Versus is not for persons of the age of... If you've been making music from J. Cole and Kendrick's time going forward, chances are you're not going to be seen on a versus stage. Versus is for those 90s artists, those early 2000 artists. 2010 moving forward, you'll never see a person who's made music or who just debuted from 2010 on a versus stage. So the gap that you're gonna put on it now, he does make a valid point to us where he say maybe Future, if you have a crowd of 25 and younger, they may relate to Future a little bit more than they relate to a lot more Eminem songs because they may not know in depth, like how I'm in my 30s. They may not know in depth that, oh, these are real. I have listened to all Eminem albums. They probably may not even know about how many albums Eminem have. They probably only heard the recent stuff from Kamikaze, Music to Be Murdered By, Side A and Side B. So there is a small valid point there the way he says based on the audience, maybe Future may have a little edge over Eminem, crowd-wise, reaction-wise. But if you're talking about songs and hits, Future still don't hold a candle. If you're talking about the whole catalog, mind you, I fucks with Future. Future got some bangers. But if you're really talking about hits, and cause see, Dipset and Locks, for those of you who watch the Dipset and Locks battle, they squashed that whole notion that it just take hits to win a versus battle. The Locks came back with mixtapes, bro, freestyles, and they put Dipset in a graveyard. So literally, it has nothing to do with hits. The street anthems, the classics, they hold weight over radio hits. Because anyway,
You are wild.
Depending on the generation.
You are wild, yo.
M don't got nothing. Yo, M don't got nothing that slap like Gummo to these kids. Yo, Young Thug washes Eminem in the verses. I seen you wild out to pick up the phone, Schultz. I seen you lose your mind.
I could tell you right now who Charlemagne look like and who I can compare him to. Y'all could be like, I never thought of it like that.
To pick up the phone.
I don't
I
know,
think Schultz hit a
man.
mean Millie Rock and goddamn, where was we at? We was having dinner that time. Schultz hit a mean Millie Rock to pick up the phone.
What about My Name Is, though? My Name went crazy.
Man, stop, man.
Nah, Superman. Superman was fire.
Bro.
I love that song.
I can name 20 rappers
Renegade
that watch
was
Eminem in
fire.
the verses. Because
Renegade
listen,
is sweet.
There are only 4 rappers that if you're gonna put on a stage with Eminem, 4 rappers in my category, and this is in no particular order. If you can put Eminem on a versus stage, there are only 4 rappers that can go head to head with him and make it an interesting show, battle, competition, whatever you want to categorize it as. In no particular order, Nas, Jay-Z, Kanye West, and my number 1 GOAT, Lil fucking Wayne. And I personally think, this is just me, I think out of all of those names that I just called, mind you, there could be some others said that maybe I'm just not thinking of. I'm just going off the top. 4 names off the top of my head. 4 names off the top of my dome. And the only one that I think would give him the best run for his money is Lil Wayne. Because when you want to talk about crowd infusion now, because remember now, Versus just started off Instagram, but Versus going to where's now you have it at Madison Square Gardens where a crowd is infused. So y'all seen what Jadakiss did. And I promise you, when you want to talk about out of all of those people who have a stage presence, Lil Wayne has a stage presence over Jay-Z, over Kanye West, over Nas, and I think over Eminem. Now, am I saying that Lil Wayne is definitely going to wash Eminem? No. It's going to make for probably the best battle. Eminem versus Lil Wayne.
Renegade
Eminem
is
falls-
fire. Charlemagne's an Eminem hater, bro. You're
Listen,
an Eminem hater, bro.
Eminem falls into the
You're
same
racist,
category.
bro. You're
No, I'm
racist.
gonna tell you why. M falls into the same category as somebody like a Kendrick, and I think Kendrick will perform better in the verses. M don't have.
You can't put M and Kendrick in the same collab because I mean, yes, they have what it takes lyrically skilled as MCs, but the generation gap is not going to be there. Kendrick is not going to be on a versus battle with Eminem, even though lyrically they can go head to head with each other. I'm not taking anything away from Kendrick because Kendrick is a beast. J. Cole is a monster. But I'm just saying for the time gap of music, it's too far a gap.
Have versus type songs.
That's what
Imagine
shit.
sitting there
How
watching
about
a
this?
versus and he plays Stan.
Eminem or Kendrick? Now
Kendrick.
that's a good
Kendrick, all the
versus.
way.
Kendrick,
Come
18
on.
to 2.
Nah, I don't know, bro.
Say 18 to 2.
Do you? Huh?
What?
We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right.
Yeah, that would be one of the best that perform. I agree with that. But
Do you guys know Kendrick
Son,
Lamar
once he
songs,
drops
though?
that shit, that hi, my name is.
The crowd is going to go crazy. For the people like me, old school, from the minute you drop that in the crowd, hi. And M has mic control. So he's going to do exact same thing what Jadakiss did. He ain't going to have no vocals in the background like how Cameron them did. You know what I mean?
People
Man,
are gonna
yeah,
get
man.
nice and nostalgic, bro.
Mhm. Like, oh, I remember this.
I remember this shit.
I remember what I was doing too.
They're gonna be like, man, I remember this. Why did I ever like this shit?
Oh my
My name
god!
You know what I'm saying? As soon as and you think Eminem can get off dissing Britney Spears
All day.
in 2021?
Man, poor Britney, bro. Yo, but Britney could take some people out in the verses if we really want to talk about it. If we
So, okay, let me see if they say anything else about Eminem.
really want to talk
Christina
about it,
Aguilera.
All
Britney-
jokes aside, Britney washes Eminem in a verse.
Yo,
bro.
Shut the.
all
fuck
jokes
up.
aside,
Come on, y'all
all
tripping,
jokes
yo.
aside, are you ready? You ready for
Yes.
this one? All jokes aside, Britney washes Mary J. Blige in a
No,
verse.
okay,
Yo,
now you
get
are.
out.
See, now you talking foolishness, bro. You need to go sit aside. I can see why this show just all about foolishness. But let me give you all my 1-2 on Charlemagne. And this is my all in honesty. Because see, one thing about me, I'm not one of those people who try to be like a Nick Cannon and take these big words and try, confuse people or politic wise and try confuse people from the point just using these big words and trying to seem like a smart to educate you on, but literally trying to draw off the main point. I like to down to the T. No fluffing, no stuffing. You know what I mean? No beating around the bush. Just give it to me straightforward. Simple, common sense, I think with. So let me tell you exactly what's going on with Charlemagne. Charlemagne is a very intelligent human being. Charlemagne is a great radio personality, a great host, He has been in the hip hop industry. He's well educated on what it takes to be a great artist, what these artists do. He knows the numbers, he knows the lanes, he knows the people, he knows the connections. Charlamagne basically could be his own manager, I guess, if he want to, because he has that knowledge of the industry and when it comes to music. So let me give you my 1-2. Now, hate comes in either two forms. A hater is basically someone who's either jealous or envious of you. That's basically what it boils down to, regardless of however you want to put it. A hater only hates on somebody because they have something that you have, something that they want, and they mad that you have it, or they mad that you getting it, or they mad that you getting this shine and they ain't getting it. So a hater is basically, when you boil it down, envious and jealousy. But that's not the case with Charlamagne. Charlamagne, he is not an undercover star. Charlamagne is basically, for those of you who are like comic book fans and cartoon watchers, think of Charlamagne as he's sitting there right now. He is Lex Luthor, and Eminem is Superman. Every person needs an enemy. When you get to a certain platform, it's almost like you need a villain. It's like you need somebody to pick on. And Charlamagne knows that at the end of the day, but Eminem has the numbers. Eminem is the GOAT. But he will never say it, because at the end of the day, in his mind, let me put it like this. It's just like clout and troll chasing. When you feel like maybe my name might not ring any bells anymore like it used to, or when you feel like things are getting a little quiet, you do something to just make a little bit of ruckus. Charlamagne knows that at the end of the day, if everybody likes Eminem, he has to be that one person. The same way like in Superman comics, or even Batman and the Joker. The same way everybody might look up to Superman, they might say, but he's a good superhero, he saves people, he's all about saving the world, being a protector and this and that. Lex Luthor's mind is so screwed up to the point where he knows that Superman's the strongest, he can fly fast, he can do this and that, but he will challenge him at every time to say that he is the bad guy. Charlamagne is the DC version of Lex Luthor, and Eminem is Superman. And no matter what anybody says, he knows in his mind that, whenever I go up against this dude, I'm probably gonna take a loss, but for everything, for me to stay relevant, for me in order to become the president, in order for me to get this name Charlamagne the God, in order for me to be recognized and be known for this and that, I have to be picking on somebody. And who better to pick on than the biggest controversial artist of all time? You name me somebody who has been in more controversy in the papers and more conversations than Eminem, I'll wait. He is the biggest artist. Mind you, there are other big artists out there, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Kanye West, all these other big artists, but they haven't been as somewhat controversial throughout their entire music career as Eminem. So Charlamagne knows that, hey, at the end of the day, Eminem is the GOAT, but I will be Lex Luthor and always say that at the end of the day, he ain't got it. He ain't this. No, man, there's always somebody who could do better. There's always something else that I feel like, oh, he shouldn't be able to do, or somebody else could do a way lot better. That is Charlamagne. In his mind, he knows Eminem is a GOAT. He knows what he's saying doesn't really make sense. But for every fiber in him, in order for him to continue being Charlamagne the God, aka Lex Luthor, he has to hate on Eminem. He has to say these things and go against the grain. That's just what it is. So that's my 1-2 on this. We getting into more videos today, guys. Hope y'all enjoying y'all Saturday. Stay faithful, continue to be grateful. Peace out.